Have you ever watched someone's life implode in slow motion? The promotion they missed because of one careless comment, that relationship that crumbled after a series of small betrayals, the health crisis that came after years of just one more bad decision. Nothing happens from isolation. Everything, absolutely everything, is connected. And today we're going to master the superpower of seeing how those connections, uh, I'm sorry, we're going to master the superpower of seeing those connections before they become catastrophes. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Pay close attention in conversation to what is being said and to what follows from any action. In the action, immediately look for the target in those words. Listen closely to what is being signaled." Now, I know that can be a little confusing with the jargon used in previous times, but we're going to go over that. He's not just talking about being a good listener, he's talking about becoming a detective of cause and effect, about developing the rare ability to see the invisible threads that connect our choices to their inevitable outcomes. Modern psychology calls for this cognitive behavioral therapy. The Stoics, they called it wisdom. Think about the last argument you had. Did it really start with the voices? Did it really start when voices were raised? Or did it begin hours earlier with a misunderstanding that neither of you addressed? Or perhaps days before with sleep deprivation that shortened your fuse? Or even years ago with patterns you both established and never questioned? The masters of cause and effect don't just react to what's happening now. They see the entire chain of events that led here. And more importantly, they can see where the chain leads next. This isn't just philosophy, folks. This is practical power. When you observe cause and effect, you stop blaming bad luck when you see the decisions that created your circumstance. You stop being blindsided by sudden problems that were actually building for months. You gain the ability to change the outcomes by changing inputs, not just desperately managing consequences. And perhaps most valuable, you develop patience. Because now you understand that meaningful results don't materialize instantly, but throughout consistent causes creating inevitable effects. Here's how to practice this Stoic principle today. First, reverse engineer one problem in your life. What 5 preceding causes created it? Be totally, brutally honest. Second, identify one positive outcome you want. What daily cause could you introduce that would make this effect inevitable over time? Third, during conversations today, listen not just for what's being said, but what's being signaled. What's the underlying need or fear beneath their words? I'm going to talk about this as a husband as I get on further. I'm going to talk about this, so please listen to the end because this part right here is really, really speaking to me as a married individual. Anyways, back to the topic at hand, asking yourself these challenging questions. What negative effects am I currently experiencing that I've been treating as bad luck rather than predictable outcomes? Come on, folks. Come on, folks. You know if you don't study, you're going to get a bad grade on the test. You're not getting a bad grade because all bad luck is getting you. You're getting a bad grade because you were unprepared. What positive effects do I want that I haven't been creating consistent causes for? If you want to grow your YouTube channel, what should you do? Post consistently, at least to start. At least to start. That's going to get you closer to your goal. What patterns in my relationship, work, or health have I been ignoring because I don't want to see where they inevitably led? The world isn't random, folks. Your life isn't a series of disconnected events. Everything flows, the iron law of cause and effect. The question is, will you be at the mercy of these laws, or will you master them? Will you be the person who constantly is surprised by what happens to them, or will you be the person who shapes what happens next? Now, the Stoics knew that true freedom doesn't come from escaping cause and effect. It comes from understanding it so deeply that you can work with it rather than against it. The Stoics weren't first to recognize the power of cause and effect. Ancient Eastern philosophies called it karma. Yeah, folks, that's what we're talking about. Newton's third law stated that every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. Modern science calls it causality, the backbone of how we understand everything from physics to economics. But the Stoics added something unique. They made it personal. They understood that cause and effect wasn't just about the physical world, it was about our thoughts, words, and actions too. In today's hyper connected world, cause and effect operates at warp speed. One tweet can end a career, one viral video can launch a movement, one decision can alter the trajectory of your entire life. The stakes for understanding this principle has never been higher. Yet our ability to observe it has never been more challenged by distraction, information overload, and the cult of immediacy. This is why Marcus Aurelius' words from nearly 2,000 years ago feel more urgent than ever. Remember this: you cannot control every effect in your life, external circumstances, other people's choices, and random events. These will always play a role. But you can control the causes you create. You can control your responses. You can control your patterns. You're basically playing chess with life. And over time, those causes will create the effects more powerful than any single stroke of luck or misfortune. This is the true power of Stoicism, not immunity from life's challenges, but the wisdom to navigate them with intention rather than a reaction. Observe cause and effect, then become the cause of the effects you wish to see. Folks, I want to talk to you guys even, in the beginning about, understanding what's happening. Like, it was right around when I talked about, third, during conversations today, listen to not what just being said, but what's being signaled. What's the underlying need? What's the underlying need or fear beneath the words? This happens in couples. A lot of times, us as men are listening to the words our ladies are saying, and we're going against those words. Oftentimes, I know a lot of us can in a battle of words, win the argument or win the debate because we're thinking from what we consider a logical perspective. But I find it's not about winning the war. It's not about winning this debate. There is a reason why your wife, your lady, your friend, I'm speaking from my personal experience, but there's a reason why your wife is saying this, but they may not be able to articulate it. Some of us articulate better than others. That's just the way it is. So you're feeling something, you don't know how to get it out, but you just got to express it. And you might be expressing it wrong. So if you listen to the underlying cause, not the words she's saying, but why is she saying this? You can get through so much arguments and so much problems, because you start going back to, you may think that's because of what you did yesterday. And you're like, all I did was wash the dishes and put them away. You're like, how can you find an argument out of this? This is actually something. Listen, keep listening. All I did was wash the dishes and put them away. Why is she mad? I'll tell you why she's mad. She's mad because she's already told you a dozen times that she wants to put the dishes in the dishwasher because she perfectly wants it sanitized. She does not trust your ability to wash your plates properly, your knives properly, and get rid of the salmonella when you was seasoning raw chicken. So yeah, you're saying, I wash the dishes. What's the problem? She don't want you to wash the dishes. She may want you to rinse it down, make it warm and all nice and all that. What she wants is to not get sick from salmonella. That's what she wants, but she's not saying it. So put the dishes in the dishwasher like she was saying. That's what she's getting at. Rinse it off, put it in the dishwasher, run it. So when she says, did you sanitize it? Yes. Because if she washes the dishes by hands, what is she going to do? Not just soap and hot water. She's going to put a little teaspoon of bleach in there. That's what she's going to do. You don't do that. You don't use bleach when you cook. When you wash dishes, you just use warm water and soap, and you think that's good enough. Well, it has been good enough. For 30-something years, I've never gotten sick from salmonella poisoning. But you see, It was not about me washing the dishes or not the previous day. It goes back further than that. She's told me several times to do something, and I did not listen to her. So now she does not feel like she's being heard. That is the underlying cause. She does not feel like she is being heard. Once you get that, everything else falls into place. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the lesson today. Until next time, I'm your host. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do so. Check out the book, The Daily Stoic. I have it as in the description of this video. It's an affiliate link. I do get a little kickback if you get that book. It's helped change my life, and I hope it changes yours in a positive way too. Until next time, I'm out.